But as I was about to put down the phone, I was like, what are you thinking? This is a Meera Nair film. You have to audition for it anyhow. I went in my car like speeding, like really just speeding, and I was literally in my shorts and vest. Literally, I had nothing else. I went in my shorts and vest, and I've given that audition, and I've raced back again just to manage to catch the flight and gone.
Hello everyone, this is Arjun here and from the Entrepreneurs of India, and I'm very happy to be getting this opportunity to interview Mr. Parvin himself. So how are you doing?
Great, and thank you, Arjun. Good to see you here in Entrepreneurs of India.
Thank you. Something that I really admire about you and Preeti ma'am is that you've had a very diverse career. It's not just acting; it's entrepreneurship, it's taking initiative. In the sports industry also, and diversity comes with a lot of challenges. But before we throw light into how challenging your life has been, entering into a completely new industry, was anyone from your family into acting, or were you the first one?
I was the first. Yeah, nobody was. कोसों दूर थे acting से, बस यही कह सकते हैं. I come basically from a farmer's family. My dad was a farmer and a teacher as well. Before we immigrated to Canada, and I grew up there then for 10 years, and that kind of changed the course of our life. Otherwise तो मैं एक छोटे गांव से belong करता हूँ. मैं पैदा भी हुआ था चारपाई के ऊपर गांव के अंदर, और ये भी नहीं है कि हॉस्पिटल या डॉक्टर्स क्लिनिक में पैदा हुआ. मैं चारपाई पे पैदा हुआ था, पर लेकिन 10 साल फिर कनाडा में बड़े हुए from the age of 3 to 13. And then I was in modern school, Vasant Vihar, Hansraj College, and and from there the acting bug came, and I went to New York to study acting, and done various things like throughout my life now.
Yeah, and it can be challenging also because India got its independence, and since then we are still in a developing stage. Spending your childhood, I think childhood has a lot of influence in your whole life as a whole. Coming back to India, and then getting the different kind of lifestyle, and then actually thinking about not going back, which I really appreciate. You wouldn't be able to see the wonderful movies you did if you hadn't stayed here. Yeah. What inspired you to or what was that thought that you had that let's have a career in acting?
When we came back, for some time I was obviously miserable, because you get taken away from your friends. वो जो initial जो excitement होता है ना, वो 12-13 साल के बच्चे को कि इंडिया जा रहे हैं, वो एक वो महीने के अंदर खत्म हो जाता है. फिर initially फिर our system was different as it is. It takes time adjusting. बच्चे भी मजाक उड़ाते थे कि अरे कनाडा से आया एक्सेंट, यार ये वो सब तो वो चलता है. But that's part of growing up for a lot of people. So those were some of the challenges until one got into the groove, and at that time I didn't have a choice to go back. Right. Maybe if I had a choice I might have gone back because I was too young.
Thank God.
I didn't. But yeah, then when I got into acting, because it just happened in school and college, where I was part of the dramatic society and I used to do the leading roles. And literally I was just picked up from the class in school and said, "Aap banoge." Lead role is usme. So, and then it just became a hobby, and I realized, I don't want to say I realized I was good at it, maybe, but I realized that I enjoyed it. Right. So I realized I enjoyed it, and that this is what I want to make into a profession. So then I went to America to study acting, and I was there for 3 years and did various stuff. Went to 2 different schools and did all kinds of different plays and different jobs also. Right. Supported myself, हर किस्म का उस टाइम एक्सपीरियंस हुआ जो मैं चाहता भी था. Right. कि पैसे भी नहीं है, क्या करें, चलना ये वो उस टाइम पे होना भी चाहिए. Because you have to stand on your feet, you should face all kinds of challenges, and then it was a conscious decision at that time on my behalf to come back. Right. At that time, to tell you, there was not that many roles for Indians as well जो अभी खुल गया है. Right. Abhi you see, people of color, Indians have been widely accepted in all kinds of roles abroad. Even yesterday I was seeing a show which comes on Disney Hotstar called The Dropout. You know, two of the
Wow.
main characters are
yes,
Indian
yeah.
as well. So, you know, at that time it wasn't the case. You know, Indians
Naturally.
used to get maybe a taxi driver or a ki dukaan pe cash register
Initially,
pe,
yeah.
you know, role. So it didn't really make sense. So that's why
Right.
I came back and, you know, did
Okay.
whatever I had to do here.
Okay. Your first break was Dil Lagi, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Dilligi was my
How did that
first
happen?
film.
How did that happen?
You know, my first film, Dil Lagi, and actually I did a Malayalam film as well. Don't ask me the name, because it's a very complicated name. But and I shot it in Alapi, and even Dil Lagi happened. I mean, the casting director was looking for somebody to play the main negative role, and you know, it came to me. It was a great experience working with Sunny Bhai, and Bobby was
Yes.
great, very welcoming. So you know, so it's a great experience.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the movie didn't do well, so it didn't really do anything for me. But of course, you know, Monsoon Wedding
Very
did.
wonderful.
You know, so I auditioned for that role and
Yes.
got it eventually after 2-3 auditions.
Yes.
And that was an amazing experience, especially for somebody so early in their career. I think it was a very lucky and great experience. Yeah.
True. And you learned in New York, and the system that, you know, the work that happens there, maybe the structure, you know, the way you get a certain role or a part in a movie can be completely different. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not the right person to say. But India can be completely different. The way you get roles here can be quite challenging. Was it like that for you?
See, the thing is, I never worry about that. And I never think about it also.
Right.
Because I don't think yahan pe, you know, or wahan pe. I never think like that. See, everybody has a path. Everybody gets opportunities everywhere. If you are good enough, you will get opportunities. If you want to make excuses in your mind, you can make as many excuses in your mind as you want.
agree.
कि यार वहाँ पे होता था मुझे ये यहाँ पे ये स्टार आते हैं ये उनके बेटे और I never think like that.
Right.
You know, I never think like that. If you are talented, there are enough opportunities for everybody to grow. You know, there's a big space. Everybody can grow. Everybody can shine. We have so many talented actors right now.
True.
You know, if you look, some of the biggest actors, you know, if you look at them, you know, are very talented. You look at like a Ranveer Singh, Rajkumar Rao, Karthik, all of these guys, you know, are very talented as well. They're good actors. You know, and they've also come up, you know, the hard way. So, but they've made it, you know, just on the sheer force of talent. So that, you know, one has to respect that. So what I would say is, you know, to any younger generation person saying, don't look for excuses. Look for opportunities and make sure you're ready when those opportunities come. I've also, you know, screwed up a lot of times where I would say I was not ready for opportunities, you know, this and that. But you live and learn. And that's part of the life experience.
Right. It can be challenging. You know, most people see you in movies. Most people see that, you know, okay, that was a nice shot, or that was a nice character that you played. But what most people might not understand is the effort that you put in building that character, in being present at a time. You know, you know, they say the role, and then you have to be a completely different person altogether.
I wouldn't agree with that.
Okay.
See, you don't have to, and I think this is where a lot of younger actors falters. They think they have to become somebody else and they have to start acting.
Right.
According to me, that's not the case.
Right.
You know, it's more about how would I be if I was in that circumstance.
Beautiful.
You know what I mean? So it's minor adjustments.
But yeah.
It's studying people, it's minor adjustments and this and that. It's not about all of a sudden acting that, you know. So I think that eagerness, you know, to do is something which should be avoided. You know, see, at the end of the day, everybody has their own styles and there's no right style, no wrong. Sab bolte ho, koi bolta hai method ye wo. Everybody has their own method. That's the way I see it. And I don't worry about what I respect what other people are doing. You know, if I see a good movie, a good show, I also enjoy it, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm also the audience. You know, I'm also watching for entertainment.
Right.
You know, but yeah, there is a lot which goes into creating a character.
Right.
You know, and but like I said, there is and I'll give you an example. It might be a bad example. आपको example देता हूँ. जब सचिन खेलता है ना, he makes it look effortless.
Oh, true.
Right? When Sachin Tendulkar played, used to, you know, or you know, he makes it look effortless. People don't realize that he has to practice 10 hours a day to make it look effortless. It's the same thing for 100%. A character.
100%.
You know, if you're not practicing, then you are making it look like. You know,
Yeah.
the same thing for acting is
Yeah.
if you want a character to seem seamless and flowing, there's a lot of rehearsal, a lot of work you have to do on that character
True.
to reach that point that day.
True.
You know, if you don't do that, then it seems labored
True.
and you're like you're
True.
trying too hard and overacting. You know, and all of that. So you know, again, I don't know if that's a good example, but that's
I think
the
it's a
example
great
I'm going to try
example.
to
I think
give.
anything that helps the younger audience
Yeah.
give an insight. I think you know they don't have to go through the things. They just learn from experts like you and someone who has actually made it. So they know that these are the real things that you're explaining.
Yeah.
You know, they can be mentally prepared for that.
Yeah.
And before they get an opportunity, they'll do the necessary practice and everything that is required. And I think that's a step in the right direction. 100%. Yeah. Okay. How did Monsoon Wedding happen? It's a wonderful movie.
Thanks. You know, the Monsoon Wedding almost didn't happen because I was shooting for something that day in another city.
All right.
And I was in the gym when the casting director, Uma Dukuna, brilliant lady, I have so much respect for her, called me and said, you know, there's this movie that Meera Nair is doing and we want you to come and audition for it today.
Right.
Or tomorrow. I said, listen, I'm going to Baroda, you know, in a couple of hours. I have a flight and right now I'm in the gym. I'm going to go home, change and catch the flight. So, you know, I don't think I can make it.
Right.
So she said, okay, no problem, next time making it. But as I was about to put down the phone, I was like, what are you thinking? This is a Meera Nair film. You have to audition for it anyhow. You know, this is what I was talking about, opportunity.
Yes.
You know, it's in that 1 second maybe that I realized this is, you're letting go of an opportunity, you know, just because you're not trying hard enough to make it happen.
Right.
So I said, listen, I'll come right now, directly from the gym, and I'll give the audition. So, but she was in town, I was in Bandra. I went in my car like speeding, you know, like really just speeding. And I was literally in my shorts and vest. Literally. I had nothing else. You know, I went in my shorts and vest and I've given that audition.
Wow.
And I've raced back again just to manage to catch the flight and gone.
Oh my God.
Then after some months, I think a month or something, they, you know, Umaji called me again and said, you know, yours is one of the auditions that they've liked. And Meera is coming down and she's doing a second round of auditions with people she's liked and you're one of them.
Wow.
So I said, great. So, you know, I went for the audition, which Meera was doing herself. And first thing she asked me, were you the guy in the vest and the shorts? I was like, yeah, sorry. Like I came directly from the gym. So, you know, sorry, what can I do? But so, you know, then we auditioned for it. And luckily it was also the character of a guy who comes from America, who's studying, you know, so luckily my upbringing in Canada helped me get that accent and everything, right? So it worked for the role. So, you know, and so, you know, so I got, you know, after a month, I think again, I got a call, you know, you're on for this film. So it was, you know, like I said, I made sure I made the most of that opportunity and I was ready for the opportunity when it came.
Right. Beautiful. One is, you know, living a successful life as an actor. And second is entering an industry or becoming an entrepreneur. From what I understand, entrepreneur comes with its own challenges. Yeah. You are responsible for a lot of things.
Probably more challenges than acting.
Acting is you get a limited, you know, your focus is 100%. You don't have to worry about the other things. But when you're in business, you know, you have to worry about 10 things because ultimately people are going to hold you responsible.
Yeah.
To even think about it, even as a successful person, when you're not, or when you're in the developing stage, you know, you can say, okay, let us try this or let us try that. But once you've made it in your life, you know, then taking another jump in itself is I think it takes a lot of courage. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It does. You know, I think sometimes it's blind courage, you know, whatever you want to call it. It's just, you know, also having passion for doing some things and taking that risk, you know, of chalo, let's, you know, go for it. You only have one life.
Yes.
Let's try to do this now.
Yes. How was it for you? When did you think, or which year particularly did you think that, okay, let us start something of our own? And
you know, the first thing I actually started was some online sports sites in 2016.
Okay.
I'm a big MMA fan as well, mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
And I felt there was a a vacuum in India for video podcasts on MMA, and I started one, and it just blew up and became very big, and we started a website called MMAindia.com, which now has become one of the biggest MMA sites in the country. And we are credited with the UFC. Our guys cover UFC fights and combat and everything. It's a niche sport, but it's very big. And then we've opened up other sports sites as well. Sports India show, Cricket India show, and the Fitness India show. And we have a wedding, social media portal also called Monsoon Weddings. So we're doing quite a lot in the digital space now. But it's in 2017, when I was still, pushing out MMA and everything, that I realized I wanted to do something in the sports space, but the promotion space, like a proper physical promotion, and not just a website.
Right.
And that's when I thought of, and that's when I thought of, let's say, Panja or arm wrestling, that this can be a good sport for the masses.
True.
To really enjoy, because everybody understands it, everybody's played it in their childhood.
Naturally.
There's an emotional connection. But I did realize that there is a lot of work to be done because people don't know about it professionally.
Naturally.
Even I didn't know, quite frankly speaking, at that time. So I got in touch with the Indian Arm Wrestling Federation, which is the official federation here. And we started doing things together. And our first event was in Delhi in Feb 2020. At Tyagraj in Delhi, Tyagraj Stadium, where Mr. Kiran Rijiju, at that time was the sports minister, Vijender Singh, our international boxer, they both came and inaugurated it. It was big success, big success. Unfortunately, lockdown happened after 3 weeks. So as a entrepreneur, there was a lot of challenges and obstacles, like you rightly said. We had made this huge investment, and all of a sudden lockdown happened. So we had twice, and then then we did a big show in Mumbai in front of the Gateway of India. We did a show in Goa on top of a casino boat at Majestic Pride. Then the second lockdown happened, so again we had to stop. But now in July we had a huge show in Gwalior, in front of the Gwalior Fort. Big success, one of the biggest arm wrestling events in the world to ever taken place. So and now we're gearing up for the proper league. So now we know कि okay, ठीक है, हो सकता है lockdown अभी ना हो दोबारा, hopefully. But I think that made us stronger. It gave us time to study how we're doing it, how we should bring the event to market, and work on a lot of things. But having said that, it was a challenge. It wasn't easy getting through the lockdown phase. But we have a lot of great people in the office working as a team on it, who put it together, because it's never a one-man show, right? It has to be a strong team which puts it together.
Right. And it can give you second thoughts sometimes when you say that the lockdown entered, and
of course it will,
because
don't know
at
that point of time, right now we can look at it in hindsight.
Exactly.
But that time, that was just 3 weeks. We had done this huge show.
Oh God.
And all of us, we also didn't know at that time how long the lockdown is going to be for, right? Nobody knew. Right, now we can say that in hindsight. Lockdown 1 हुआ था, 2 हुआ था, 3 हुआ था, and then unlock 1, unlock 2, ऐसा सब हुआ था, right?
We still don't know actually. Tomorrow all of a sudden, hopefully not, but
but see, now we're in a phase that we know, ठीक है, कुछ और आ जाए तो पता नहीं, लेकिन शुभ और होगी. But you got what I'm saying. So at that point of time, you're like, so we did have to re-strategize, replan, and do a lot of things.
And it's something that I really appreciate, because I think sports is a particular sector that India needs to focus on. When we see the Olympics, how often do we see, when we see the whole internet goes crazy, which I think is the need of the hour. But I think we need, leaders like you taking such initiatives, giving a platform, because you may be good at sport, but then you need a team, you need the right platform, you need the right people to guide you, you need a coach. And I think it takes courage to be the first in a particular industry.
We did want to also come into arm wrestling and Punjab because it was a sport that nobody else was supporting.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
So we wanted to come into it and give it that boost and
that's right.
So
and being the first in the world to be taking this initiative, I think that and it makes me proud also as an Indian to know that.
I can say this in July at the Pro Panja League, we were also given the gold award from the World Arm Wrestling Federation and the
Oh.
Asian Arm Wrestling Federation,
Yeah.
which is an award they only give every 2 years.
Wow.
So that was a big honor for us as well. That within 3-4 years we've been honored, and our efforts are appreciated by the World Federation.
Right. Okay. What future do you see for Pro Panja League?
It's going to become a huge global league. Let me tell you now.
Naturally.
It's going to be it's even before we've done our first season, but just from the scale of the events we've done, people have realized that we mean business.
Yeah.
Mazak karni nahi hai.
Naturally.
We are here and we know how to promote sports and how to project it to the audience.
Right.
We got in the last 4 months, we've got 156 million views on our social media.
And this is the beginning.
Which is
This is the beginning,
this is before the first season.
Yeah.
So like I said, we've got a great team, both in events, social media, putting it together. We're always strategizing, putting things out. So we have big plans for the future for India and outside of India as well.
Yeah. And to all the children watching or all the youngsters watching, I can relate to it, because when I was in school and we had a free time, the first thing that came into our mind was, let's do a panja.
Yeah, exactly.
And many people don't, like you very well said, many people don't see, because there was no platform back then.
Yeah.
But now we have.
Yeah.
So what would you say to that young person, who wants to make a career? What is the potential? One. Second, what is the right path? Like, how should they participate?
Yeah.
And what are the opportunities for them?
Well, if you go to sportsindiashow.com, we have a registration point where people who want to
Wonderful.
Come, they can go there, sportsindiashow.com. They can go and register. So whenever we have an upcoming event, we'll send them details and everything on that.
Yeah.
So, and then also get in touch with your local federations, or if you mail us, at sportsindiashow.com or propanjaleague.com or info@swen, SWENENTT.com. We will tell you in your area where are people practicing, who is the guy to get in touch with, who can help you, and all of that. So in every area we have a lot of players. It's a very popular sport across the country, and so we have some very good players. Yeah.
That's great. So I have one last question for you. You've had a wonderful career as an actor, as an entrepreneur, and you're still...
Entrepreneur is still happening.
No,
I wouldn't say I've had a wonderful career as an
no.
entrepreneur yet, but let me say I'm on the right path.
I've
Touch
personally taken more than 600 interviews in my life of business. This is certainly a one-of-a-kind initiative,
Thanks.
because when we talk to most entrepreneurs, there is something that is very common. How often do we see something out of the box, and it comes with... I really consider you as a great entrepreneur.
Thank you.
But what would your message be to the young entrepreneurs of India?
Be prepared. Plan. Don't just come with passion, come with a plan. Passion is very important. You can't get ahead, and passion for what you're doing. But you have to plan. You have to work hard. I know there's a lot of talk nowadays of work-life balance, which is very important.
True.
You cannot achieve anything great without working hard.
True.
I have sleepless nights sometimes thinking about, before an event in Gwalior, 3 weeks before, I was not sleeping, maybe barely 2-3. Why? Because I was waking up in the night making notes of what I had to remember and what I had to do. Ye na bhul jaun, wo na bhul jaun. Just making notes all the time, and I write everything down. So that's another thing. Don't think you'll remember. Write everything down. Just so you have to work to a plan. You have to work towards perfection. You have to make sure. Don't be like ho jayega. No. You have to know. Put a plan, implement it to perfection. Don't accept anything less than perfection.
Beautiful.
Either from yourself or those people around you. And I know everybody's listening, so that's good. In the office right now, but that's what I always keep pushing everybody to. Is make sure if there's anything we require, but there has to be everybody in the team. There has to be a certain amount of wanting to do a good job.
True.
Pride in what you're doing, and pride in doing it well.
True.
Because like I said, it's no man is an island. You can't do it just by the force of your determination.
Let's do it.
You have to have a good team around you who knows what they're doing. The plan is in place, and everybody wants to do a good job and implement it. So that is my advice to entrepreneurs: is eat, dream, sleep your dream. put in a plan. Don't waste your money on things that don't require.
True.
Be very, very frugal, and be sure of where you're putting your money.
True.
But make sure you're working hard, because there's no substitute for hard work.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
and even research. It's not just कि गधे के जैसे काम करना है और आपको results मिल जाएंगे. No, it's a combination of hard work and research, and the research is part of the hard work.
That's true.
Research ऐसा नहीं है कि वो आपके दिमाग में ऐसे there's a lot of hours you have to put in. There's a lot of hours we put in to plan how should Pro Panja be. We studied how other leagues are. What is this? How is this doing? Even any arm wrestling tournaments around the world, how are they taking place? And how should we, do our tournament? So there's a lot of planning you should do, a lot of hard work. Don't be shy of hard work. Don't think your work-life balance, and I should be taking. Break is important. It is very important to rest, but when you need to. Sometimes you might have to put in those endless hours. You have to.
Right.
You have to know when you have to just, keep working on something. You have to do it.
Yeah.
It's those sacrifices you have to make at that point of time.
True.
For success later on.
True. And people assume that, especially for successful actors, they see that, everything comes easy to them. No, it does not. You are as common as
absolutely.
it can be when you take a particular responsibility, and people think it comes easy.
Yeah.
And I think this platform that I want to use for people is to show people that what you see on the screen is not everything.
Yeah.
There are 101 different things that an actor or the leader has to go through in order to give that particular output to you.
Yeah.
And I think I really appreciate when you throw some light in the efforts that you. I mean, being modest, you don't say it very regularly, unless asked by someone, definitely. But I think I really appreciate, when you, because a lot of people don't know that you are having sleepless night, or you are, sleeping late, or you're planning everything properly. They think they may be having, things just happens for them. It does not happen.
It doesn't happen that you just throw money and it happens. That's not
yeah. I think there's a lot as a youngster. I'm 26. As a youngster, I think there's a lot we learn from mentors like you.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I think.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
So I had a great time with you.
Pleasure talking to you, to Arjun. It was great talking to you, and thank you to you and entrepreneurs of India.
Thank you, sir. It means a lot.